Hello, I'm Harold Spencer, and this is my video demonstration of the Programming Fundamentals Hotel Booking System. I want to start by talking about the core requirements as set out by the assessment criteria. I've implemented all of these, and for the advanced feature, I selected Analytics and Reporting. I took those requirements and I developed them into two use case diagrams. The more complex of the two is in the report, but this is the high-level version, where you can see that there are multiple users being considered and the use cases of managing check-in, check-out, managing bookings, managing staff members, managing the building, which refers to room categories and their prices, and managing analysis, which deals with the reporting features. There's also a use case for database management, which refers to the back-end handling of data and also providing the system the ability to read and write to and from CSV files. Moving on, this is my high-level class diagram. The entry point is the app, and depending on which choice is made, either a guest terminal or an admin terminal is used. They both inherit from a base terminal, which provides features and methods to the terminals that are shared between the two. If the admin terminal is used, then it will use an authenticator class in order to verify the login of the user. When the terminals are running, they make use of 5 static helper classes, which are described here. Now, these don't all have exactly the same methods, and neither does the other diagrams. As is always the case with design to implementation, there are changes made, but the overall structure as described by these class diagrams has remained consistent. These static helper classes are here to isolate the high-level input-output terminal classes from the back-end data-focused classes. Moving on to these data-focused classes, the main one is obviously the database object itself, which holds collections of these objects, as well as, when instantiated, reading in from some CSVs and also writing out to CSVs as well. The data structure objects themselves are representative of elements within the hotel, such as guests, staff members, rooms, and bookings. We're going to move now to some end-to-end testing where I demonstrate the program itself. We're going to start in guest mode, but once we move to admin mode, there are going to be two kinds of staff members, one who is front desk and one who is a manager, and you'll be able to see that they have access to different features based on that permission level that they have. So this is the landing page when the program is opened. As you can see, we have a choice between that guest mode and admin mode. This kind of menu system with the selectors is used throughout the project as one of the main forms of getting input from the user. I present these characters that the user can type into the terminal, and it's case insensitive. So if I wanted to go to the guest mode, I could type lowercase g or capital G. I'm going to type the lowercase g now just to show you as we go into guest mode. Here in this menu, it's designed to be running, say, out on the main lobby of the hotel so guests can check themselves in and out as a way of reducing the load on the front desk staff. So in this demonstration, we're going to show what checking in is like. I'll do it capital to show you that it really is case insensitive. So here now the guest needs to enter their details. So I'm going to enter one of the guests whose details I've memorized. I did make it easier for myself. I don't think many passports have that as their number. And I've also set the phone numbers to be much more memorable. There is a bunch of synthetic data already in the database. That's to be for sort of demonstration's sake. So as you can see, the guest details have been found. That means it is correctly recognized that this guest does exist and has been registered by the hotel before, but it is saying that it appears today is not one of my booked in days. Please see the front desk for more information. So this is a message that comes up when a user, when a guest has a booking in, but it's before their arrival date. So they've come a bit early, and the system isn't designed to handle that. In guest mode, that is something that a front desk member would have to deal with. So moving on, anything that's done in guest mode will always return back to this. So if we go to exit as well, we can see that I have some of the multiples of these open. So it exits the program. So we're now going to go into admin mode and do a bit of demonstration of what's available to a front desk member, front desk member, not a manager. So his name is Jeremy PH. His password is Apple2. It's not recognized. Oh, did I typo that? Bear with me. There's always something that happens in a live demonstration. There's also a message when it first boots up to say that it is loading the database, so that the program doesn't hang when you first start. Okay, let's see if I can type this in properly this time. There we go. Okay, that was me just being a bit fat-fingered there. So as you can see, we got a new menu now. That is the staff area. Try to remember what this looks like in front desk mode, because when we move to manager mode, it will look a little different. So we can go into guest management, and we have a lot of the same sorts of features that a guest would have in their mode, but we also have a few more. One of the things we can do is find a guest's ID. So if a guest is struggling to use the system out on the lobby floor, we can try and find the guest's ID by partially completing it. So let's say we want to find Peter Hawthorne again. Peter Hawthorne knows his name, but he can't remember anything else. He's old, and he needs a bit of help. So here he is. It comes up with this as all of the guest IDs that match at least one of the things that's been put in. We can either choose this ID, or we could type exit to leave. I'm going to go back to the main menu now. So we're going to look at some common tasks someone on the front desk might be doing. One of the things might be putting in a new booking. Is the guest ID known? Let's say no. We're going to use, and then it goes back to the find a guest feature again, but this time in the context of being able to then immediately use that ID to make the new booking. So I'm going to try and remember one of the other guests. I think there's someone called... Well, actually, let's not remember it. Let's do something a bit easier and put in passport, because we know, or driving license. We know a lot of people use driving license, and we don't know what the driving license number is, and we don't know what their phone number is. So here we're going to see a list of all guests that have driving license as their ID type, and we're just going to pick one of these. Hopefully I don't pick one that's got a booking coming up. Let's do Alice Sparrow. So we're going to pick ID number 2, and then it's going to ask, because again we're still booking, making the booking. So it's going to ask if we want the room category of standard, deluxe, or suite. Let's go with standard. Arrival date. So this is designed to make new bookings, not to put in old bookings. So if we try to put a date that is before today, say we try to put something from a month ago, it's going to say date cannot be before today. So we type retry to do it again. So let's say Alice Sparrow is going to come to our hotel sometime next year, maybe in March, April. Oh, no, that's 2025. Program smarter than I am. It's 2026 is what I want. Ooh, but before I do that, I have to listen to what the actual program's telling me. Retry. Let's do that again. 04, 04, 2026. Number of days they're going to be staying. Let's say they're going to stay 3 days. And then it successfully makes the booking. Let's say we want to find that booking, right? We want to find bookings that involve Alice Sparrow because we know Alice Sparrow has made the booking. If we type anything else and go back to booking management, we can go to query bookings. And here we have a number of ways to build a query. So we can add guests to the query, we can add staff members to the query, we could add what types of rooms to the query, we can add whether or not the bookings have been checked in or out, whether they've been paid. So for this one, we're going to do a very simple query, which is we're going to add guests, and we're going to say, yes, the guest ID is known, it's 2. So right now the query holds one element to it, which is something about guests, and we're going to press Q to fire it off, and we're going to see that she actually has 3 bookings. She has some bookings in the past and some bookings coming up, and we can see that they're in the past because they've been checked in and out, and obviously the arrival and departure dates are in the past, and we can see that this new booking that Jeremy PH has made, which is us right now, it's been assigned a room, the room type is correct, and the arrival and departure dates are correct, and it correctly says that she hasn't paid. So we're going to move now to, we're going to exit the program, and we're going to run it again, and we're going to very quickly go over some more features. So this time we're going to be Adam R, and our password is orange3. Okay, so as you can see, we have some more features now. We have access to building management and analytical reports. So we've seen guest management, we've seen booking management, staff management, office things like changing a password, unsetting another member's password, adding a staff member, removing a staff member. If Jeremy PH or another front desk member came to this menu, they would only see the change password, which allows you to change your own password. We're going to go back to the main menu. Building management, that's going to allow us to change room categories, change the category prices, and then we're going to look at analytical reports. So let's say we've had Alice Sparrow, she's coming back. We want to know who else is coming back, what other guests are returning to the hotel. So we're going to try a guest retention report. So we're going to enter the start date, and we're going to say, let's say 10th of October, and we're going to go until today, which is the 17th of December. It's also going to ask if we want to have the report exported. We're going to choose to do so by typing export. And then here we're going to see a list of guests that have visited the hotel between those 2 periods of time. The 23 of 25 means of the total 25 guests that are on the system, 23 of them have visited in this time period. And we can see them, unfortunately I couldn't get it to sort by how many visits or price paid. It's sorted by guest number, ID. So you do kind of have to go in and find the highest. But we can see at the very top, Peter Hawthorne, who is one of our best patrons, has visited 5 times and has almost spent £10,000. But we have some other common visitors. Alice Sparrow says 2 visits, even though she has 3 bookings, because she still hasn't yet visited. This only accounts for visits that have happened and payments that have been made. So we can see as well, Bruce Fenderson is a big fan of us, almost 5 grand. And then at the bottom, we can see the file path for the file name for the export. If I go to here and go into reports, we can see that it's generated it here. I probably should have showed you this empty to actually prove it, but you can trust it. I'm not lying. You can open it up and it is essentially the same thing that we saw on the screen, but printed out in a hard format. So that is the demonstration. I would like to show you more, but I realize I've been talking for 15 minutes. I hope this has covered everything you wanted to see. If there's any other things that you want to know about the project, I covered them in the report as well. And obviously, feel free to go through the source code and find any answers there as well. Thank you for listening.